Welcome to the show, everybody. The mic is on, the camera's on, everything's working. It's crazy. It's almost like the afternoon show has a level of professionalism that the morning show sometimes, frankly, does not. Those of you that enjoyed 10 minutes of silence, mindfulness, this morning as I made like a Buster Keaton film, yammered on thinking you could hear me. And yet you couldn't. We'll know exactly what I'm talking about. But hey, you know, sometimes silence is golden, especially when it comes from people that oftentimes perhaps even have, I don't know, golden hair. You know what I mean? Sometimes those folks, the silence, you don't really realize how much you enjoy silence until you realized it can be filled with the yammerings of someone like Marjorie Taylor Greene. You know what I mean? The next time you're feeling kind of lonely and it's quiet around the house, nobody's there, and you might be having your own version of empty nest going on, whatever your situation may be, think to yourself, well, at the very least, I don't have this cretin yammering in my ear holes. See what I mean? Look for the silver lining in every possibility. Welcome to the show. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Give a thumbs up. Support the show in any way that you can. And if you can't, don't worry about it. And if you're a troll, thank you for being here. You found it. You found the motherlode. You found the easiest trolling job you'll ever have, because you can, like, when your boss walks by at trollfactory.com, just pretend to be, just enjoy the show and write stuff like, I disagree with what you believe. And nobody will be the wiser. It'll be fine. Whatever. Just don't use any awful racial epithets or post any links to, you know, the kind of stuff your boss likes, and you'll be fine. You know what I mean? You can hide out here. Take a break. It must be hard these days for a professional troll, I would think. She would know. What did we do to deserve MTG? We didn't, Debbie. I would like to remind you also, you don't, I mean, maybe you do. I take it back. Debbie, do you live in Georgia? Anybody live in Georgia in her district in the chat room? I don't think so. I don't get that feeling. It's possible. Anybody? If you don't worry about it. Don't take on the weight of Marjorie Taylor Greene's existence. There's a lot of representatives out there, and she ain't yours. So this one's fun in particular because apparently they're having a real issue getting people to show up to vote this time around. Stop. Does it say save? Yeah, Save America / Stop Communism. You could do it in one fell swoop. You could do it. I mean, most of us could do it by creating a market-based ideology that's based on fair democratic principles that compensates for some of the failings of society that oftentimes people who believe in communists are trying to create because they see this gap and they would like to solve it. It's the only thing that they can come up with or whatever. But that takes too much work. Don't do that. Follow that guy around from a safe distance upwind. And then, of course, don't be afraid to use the American flag as a picnic basket, apparently. Beg your pardon, I mispronounced that. Picnic basket. This is after voting, Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene took questions from the media. This is a must-watch interview. CBS 46 Rick Fulbaum plays the QAnon card, trying to paint Greene and her supporters as crazy. It's a must-watch interview from Voice of Rural America. It's got a full-on 74 views, people. This is next level. Will you settle? Hold on, I gotta move this here. Okay, there you go. I'm fascinated. She really gets asked the hard questions about QAnon. I'm excited. Let's do this. And by the way, whoever this dude, and she's given him, by the way, the same grin she gave the judge in the lawsuit the other day. That 1776, right over there. Yeah, everything that happened afterwards was a mistake, but they like that year. And of course, it's not just CBS. This Fox 11 channel, 11 Alive, is over here, and they have some questions as well, or they're just listening. Let's see. Anyway, she's got her voter sticker on. She's got her hardcore supporters who all of them look like they have a crawl space full of adopted kids. Especially this dude. What kind of creepy shit is going on up here? Look at this guy. I can't be on. I've got this violates the terms of my parole. Does she have an earbud in? Oh, not you mean like in hold on. Suspicious user monitor. Hold on. I think I have to scroll through this. There was some talk that she had one. It might have been photoshopped in the court case. That's what they're referencing.
Yes. Thank you. Hi. So, talking to your constituents today.
Talking to your constituents today, that's trouble. Look at her face. Oh, don't talk to them. They're cuckoo pants. They don't have the messaging skills that I have.
What they seem to love most about you is that you're a fighter.
Which is idiotic because you're supposed to be a legislator. This is not a boxing match. This is there are, so far, I think in the last 150 years, a full-on 0 bills or elements of the budget that have been decided based on a physical altercation.
More a fighter than a lawmaker, but a fighter. What is that how you want to be seen?
Well, I think when Republicans take back the majority, we can actually talk about making laws. Right now, Democrats control Congress, and they choose which.
Well, no, you can actually make a law. It can't be cuckoo pants because they're not going to let it through. You know, there's lots of things I'm sure she could get done for her constituency in her district and through Georgia, but she can't afford to play nice with Democrats because she'll catch more shit that way. If they like you to be a fighter, you can't exactly work in tandem with anybody, or your most ardent. Look, he disappeared. The dude over there. Well, those folks will skedaddle.
Bills come to the floor. So I haven't really had that opportunity.
Well, I mean, granted, the only ones that you've actually written or proposed are, I think, impeaching Joe Biden and not defending Ukraine. I don't know what her actual bills are. Ashley Babbitt Day. What has she actually written up?
Yet no Republican has in this Congress right now.
Well, no, they co-sponsor bills all the time. Democrats and Republicans. I mean, there's almost every bill that comes through has bipartisan support. That's one of the ways it gets forward, even when, and this might shock you, Republicans are in charge.
Your district is different this time around than it was the first time you ran.
Yeah, more bugs.
It's more ethnically and racially diverse.
Are you just picking a fight, sir? Are you trying to make me angry, Mr. McGee? You would not like me when I'm angry.
Just like the state of Georgia is more diverse, just like the country is growing more diverse in how we look and how we pray and how all of those things. How does that make you feel?
Well, you know, I'm an American, and I believe that our country represents all Americans. So I'm just going to go ahead and tell you, I don't play identity politics. To me, it doesn't matter what. She knows this dude's bad news, so she's just like, this is a corralling act, and she's got her people behind her. Skin color is, what religion you are, or if you're one at all. I don't think any of those things should matter. I think we should be doing things that help all Americans, and I know a strong economy, getting inflation under control, low gas prices.
Yeah, those are kind of the same things. And how would you do that?
A secure border.
And all those can happen if we can impeach Joe Biden, make Kamala Harris impeach Kamala Harris too, and then make Nancy Pelosi. Oh shit!
Lowering crime, and also protecting our kids from.
Yes, I mean there's a danger that apparently most of the adults in some of these districts in Georgia are standing in fields while their children are running amok in the county.
Really immoral teachings, especially when it comes to taxpayer-funded education. I think those are the things that help all Americans, and it doesn't matter what identity they are or political parties.
Speaking of kids, a new poll from The Economist said that 52% of Republicans believe that top Democrats are involved in elite child sex trafficking. I don't know if any of you believe in that. Is that something that you believe in?
I think sex trafficking is horrible, don't you?
Do you believe the top Democrats are involved in elite child sex trafficking?
I certainly hope not, but
I think one thing we can all agree is that we should, the allowance of, in the inference that they are is definitely helpful.
I think any child sex trafficking is horrendous.
Okay, so why are you touring around the country with Matt Gaetz?
And it's something that we should hold anyone accountable to the fullest extent of the law. You dope up a 17-year-old girl in Florida and fly her to Georgia, you're on the actually. Let me rephrase that. Extent of the law. So I don't think that's a pushback in any way.
I don't think that's a pushback in any way. What? Wait. What?
And it's something that we should hold.
Oh my God! Hang on a second. Was there an update at Rumble? I automatically just pushed my arrow back button that lets you go back 10 seconds on YouTube, and
anyone accountable.
It jumped backwards. Watch. Oh shit!
Involved in elite child sex trafficking.
I certainly hope not, but I think any child sex trafficking is horrendous.
Yeah, I mean, any adult sex trafficking, it depends on what kind of trafficking we're talking about. I mean, are we talking about like a handy in traffic, or are we talking about taking someone against their will? I mean, there's so many
that we should hold anyone accountable to the fullest extent of the law. So I don't think that's a pushback in any way.
Well, it's one of the.
Also, that was gibberish. I don't think that's a pushback in any way. That's just gibberish. That was another phrase from another sentence from somewhere else that you just threw on the end.
Tenets of QAnon, which is, of course, this movement that you once called Q.
Oops. Why she turn into them? What do you look into them for? Is you checking to make sure nobody's wearing a shirt?
Patriot.
Does he have a Q patch? Is that a Q patch? Oh no, that's just the Klan. It's fine. Never mind. I was making sure.
Wait, hold on. Have any of you heard me ever talk about QAnon?
Story of everything that's been going on. Have you guys been following 4chan, Q, any of that stuff? Anybody? It's a story that if you were actually to write this in a book, honestly, I probably would quit reading the book because it's so unbelievable. It's an anonymous person. All right. So Q is a patriot. We know that for sure.
No, you don't. All right, I'm going to start doing a fucking response to this bullshit now. Let's just assume this is all cuckoo pants. But yeah, here's Marjorie Taylor Greene talking about QAnon.
It's not just Democrat and Republican, left and right.
No.
You can dive down in that
Totally.
Civil War into deeper levels.
You totally can. It's a multi-level marketing scheme. Think of it as like Tupperware, but with sections of your brain burped in it.
Where we have basically the deep state
is
fighting back against President Trump, the loyal people in his administration, and the American people. Okay? I mean, is it going to
Okay. You don't have to tell me. I know.
be true that the child pedophilia in the elites in the Washington, D.C., is that what we're really going to see come out? Is it true? Is the type of corruption
I'm just asking questions.
we're going to see come out, is it going to be satanic worship?
I mean, like, it's possible. I mean, there's gotta be. How can there not be a lot of satanic worship? And I mean, it sounds so, I've only seen clips of Eyes Wide Shut, but it all sounds very fun.
That possibly all these people are involved in?
Have you seen, and I've asked Will this before, the picture?
Oh, hi. Thank you. My girl brought me a beverage. Thank you, my love. Can I trade you this? Can I give you this? Hold on. because I'm running out of space on my desk.
Of Ruth Bader Gingrich walking through the
Ruth Bader Gingrich? Oh my God. Human-animal hybrids are possible.
airport. This woman has been drawn over for how many years? And all of a sudden, she's walking straight upright like it's a whole new person.
Almost like
Do
a
you
body double
believe
like
that
Hillary
is
Clinton.
Ruth?
It's like a body double like Hillary Clinton.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like that because they taking that adrenochrome.
body double for Hillary Clinton. So
Like that body double for Hillary Clinton. The body doubles for everybody. Everything, like 16 clones. The clones are so convincing that they commit the same crimes as the original one. So we have to guillotine the clones. We're making new ones just so we can kill them. They're that evil.
it's interesting.
Yeah.
So
That's the word I would use. It's that interesting. My goodness. Tell me more. It's fascinating.
I do not believe that was Ruth. No, I don't think so.
No, I don't believe that was. I agree. You know what? This is the one area where I have to say I agree with MTG. I do not believe that was Ruth Bader Gingrich. As a matter of fact, I'm not even convinced there is a Ruth Bader Gingrich. I know. Stop it, Hal. You're talking crazy pants. But no.
There's possible satanic worship, and maybe that all these scary things that people talk about on what's
First of all, I would like to address a couple of issues. I don't know why I keep being brought up in this shit. Look, I was created by the Hebrew God as part of a kind of tug and pull on a universal level. I mean, I'm just a living embodiment of a negative fury necessary to the creation of a positive fury. This bullshit that I'm responsible for all the evil in the world is just dickish, honestly. I mean, it's bad enough I have to look like this shit, but supposedly I'm hanging out with Hillary Clinton now too, and I don't get to hang out with Marge? Fuck you. I've been to more parties with this lady than you've ever been to. Come on! What are they even talking about? I don't even know.
considered conspiracy thought.
Yes, it's considered conspiracy facts. That's the only way I talk about it.
Conspiracy sites and
Yeah, some conspiracy sites. I have a conspiracy site. It's like a second site, only it's 6. So I've got 6 sites of 6 different senses at 6 different times of the day. It's like a breakfast snack, lunch snack, dinner snack, midnight snack.
conspiracy theories really may be true.
Yeah, I've never seen any evidence that myself. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm a strictly kind of a physics dude, honestly. I mean, I still remember the day when I found out that Santa Claus was fake, and then ever since then I've never looked back.
But that's what Q has been telling everyone. We had witnessed
Hey, what? When did that shit start? I gave no permission for any Q person to start giving away the store. All right? Enough of this shit. Listen, not only is there no Santa Claus, sorry kids, there's no Q either. As a matter of fact, they were played by the same dude and they were both fired on the same day for getting a little handsy at the mall.
9/11.
I know what you're wondering. Why does the devil talk like an old villain from a 1930s comedy movie? Well, I don't rightly know. It's just when I first entered wide circulation into the public, and it's an accent that stuck.
11, right? We had witnessed 9/11.
Lots of people did. It was on television.
Terrorist attack in New York, and the plane that crashed in Pennsylvania, and the so-called plane that crashed into the Pentagon.
Yes, the so-called plane. So, a lot of people, sometimes some people will call it by its flight number, and other people will go, that's a plane, and then, what the fuck are you looking at me like that for? I'm trying to explain to the people. Not everybody buys what you're selling, lady. Come on now, ease up. You don't look, by the way, I just feel like, and I gotta be completely honest, that your profile on Bumble was a lot nicer than what I'm getting right here. And quite frankly, I brought up your picture right next to you, and you don't I'm just disappointed. I'm just saying there's some filters going on, and I feel cheated. Personally, and far be it from me to say so, but it's a fucking sin. Catfishing is a sin, lady. If that is indeed your preferred pronoun.
It's odd. There's never any evidence shown for a plane. And
Yeah, that is weird. Explosions will do that, though, and you know the best way I've found to make sure no evidence of something is ever found is just ignore it when it is. Huh?
in the Pentagon. But anyways, I won't.
Anyways, 9/11 was an inside job and it was all fake by a bunch of people. But anywho,
I'm not going to dive into the 9/11.
Thank God. I already had 99 reasons to lose my boner, and 9/11 ain't one.
Conspiracy.
I had 911 reasons.
Q is trying to tell people.
What? They're not going to get that bicycle for Christmas.
On these forums and 4chan, and he's trying to tell people the truth. And
oh, thank God. Somebody's got to tell them the truth. Do you mean the truth, or do you mean the truth?
he does it through questions.
Oh, I see. You know, I often tell the truth through questions, Marge. That's true. Questions like, what the fuck are you on about? And what the fuck did you just say? And what are you smoking? These are often, you can infer my opinions, the truth of what I'm saying by the questions that I'm asking Large Marge.
Asking questions, and giving clues.
Mm-hmm. Ask questions, giving clues. Basically, it's a giant, like pseudo-religious, conspiratorial game of shit charades you play through a window of a neighbor's house till they close the drapes.
And so it's basically, you know, you're going down the rabbit hole.
Basically. I've done that a couple of times. I'm ashamed to say it, but I'll say it anyways. And once you go down the rabbit hole, you won't go back. Just say it.
You're following the white rabbit, and you're.
I am. Well, I would say that. If it goes down the rabbit hole, it doesn't stay white for long. I'm just telling you that right now. Ho ho!
Figuring it out. I've got a question for you.
All right, fire it up.
How do you get avid gun owners and people that support the Second Amendment to give up their guns and go along with anti-gun legislation?
I give up.
Maybe you accomplish that by performing a mass shooting into a crowd that is very likely to be conservative, very likely to vote Republican, very likely to be Trump supporters, very likely to be pro-Second Amendment.
Is this a punchline? Because so far, it's not funny. I know, hang out. Maybe it's a long, extended one. It's kind of a Norm Macdonald thing.
And very likely to own guns.
Ah.
Is that what happened in Las Vegas?
No, it's not. Also, that punchline sucked. I mean, I may not know comedy, but I know what I hate.
Is that why, the country music festival was targeted?
No, I believe it was because of country music.
I have a lot of questions about that.
Yes, questions, clues, questions. My questions, my clues, cluey class, clues. Question starts with a Q. Holy shit!
I believe Stephen Paddock was a lone wolf. I don't believe that he pulled this off all by...
Actually, he was a loner. He was hungry like the wolf, though.
By himself.
I have no evidence he was a Duran Duran fan. That was untoward.
They destabilized the Middle East.
Oh, I see. And it was doing so well for so long.
That's what happened, okay?
Okay. And who knew? I thought I was down there fucking around for thousands of years, making the whole place topsy-turvy with 3 versions of the Abrahamic faith punching each other in the dick repeatedly and fighting for limited resources in a very sandy terrain. Little did I know, I had to wait until Obama came along.
So that happened.
Oh my God, it's hilarious.
During Barack Obama's presidency.
Of course. Please whip out some cookies.
Okay, but let's keep going. Let's
keep going. Don't stop. Can't stop, won't stop.
keep talking about whatever happened. Yes, I do believe he is a Muslim. And yes, Valerie Jarrett is too. And she's a big issue too.
Well, of course she's a big issue. Obviously, I'm seeing a correlation here. I'm going with black, Muslim, Muslim and black, both bad. And these people are now twice as bad. It's bad enough, I guess, what you're saying, lady. It's bad enough they're black. It's bad enough they're Muslim. And I would like you to think they're both twice as bad.
According to Q. Now,
okay. As long as you've never heard of Q before. Now, let me go back to this 1 second. Let me clarify something. Hold on. What? Back up. What were you saying just before I got on this little tirade, ma'am? What was this?
This movement that you once called Q a patriot.
Wait, hold on. Haven't you heard me ever talk about QAnon? No. Thank you. Okay, we're moving on now.
That's I gotta say, that's fucking weird. Considering
I'm saying according to Q again.
Perhaps I'm gonna go with it's not their fault. They just got shitty coverage out in the sticks. You know, the one good thing about Joe Biden's infrastructure bill is it's going to get rural broadband everywhere. So these fuckers don't have to go out and stand in the middle of a field and find the only spot where they have no coverage. So if anybody asks them if they've ever seen a QAnon video, they have plausible deniability because they can't pull it up on their fucking phone. I love these people. They're geniuses. How'd they figure it out?
And I don't have any proof of this, but
no, of course not. Why would you have any? Who the fuck needs proof, lady?
we're talking about who is Q, so I'm going to tell you what he says.
Oh, you don't know who he is, but you're sure it's a he. Presumptive. Did you ever ask Q what their pronouns might be? Or you just assume all heroes are male, like a good housewife?
According to him, many in our...
It. Let's just agree. Q is a letter, and letters are its. Like if somebody drew a big V on a tank, for example, you go, who put this there? You go, what? Which letter are you talking about? It's right here. What V? It's right here. You'd say it for the thing. You wouldn't go he to this letter.
Government are...
Although I'm all for the anthropomorphical, it's hard to say with rotten lips, anthropomorphication of letters. Namely O, Q, because it looks like it would tickle. Maybe U, that could be fun. V's, I don't know, kind of painful.
Are actively worshiping Satan.
Oh, well, la-dee-fucking-da. Actively. Yeah, I'm sick of these passive ones. They're like the Christopher Cross of Satan worshipers. They're like the yacht rock of Satan worshiper. You can't sit back. You got to dive in.
Or they call Moloch. MS.
Oh. Somebody knows my real name. Only my friends call me that.
13, everyone. Under Obama came MS-13.
Oh, 13. MS, multiple sclerosis, and 13, of course, the number of Jesus and the apostles.
There's a lot to that. You have to
there is. Tell us.
understand. They had very good relationships with
Oh, yes, they do.
MS-13. MS-13 was basically like...
Yeah, they're like, what are they? Toss that hair back. What are they? You know what? You should just bring the fan from this picture, and then you wouldn't have to do the hair flip thing.
They were kind of the henchmen.
Oh, I see. Henchmen. That's an underrated job. It's a growth industry these days. I have a couple of henchmen myself, and it's hard to find good henchmen these days with this whole $15 minimum wage bullshit
Of the Obama administration.
Oh, I see. All right. I didn't realize that. No wonder these assholes didn't show up for work. They were doubling. They were moonlighting with the Obamas.
They did a lot of the dirty work.
Well, I should hope so. You don't do the cleaners come in after they've done the dirty work. You don't get guys like MS-13 to do the clean work.
Seth Rich. Seth Rich was murdered
Oh, shit. We're going Seth Rich.
by 2 MS-13 gang members.
Huh. I didn't know MS-13 spoke Russian.
That's what I mean by dirty work,
Well, yeah, that's what I mean by dirty work, too.
okay? There's a
Okay.
once-in-a-lifetime opportunity
Well, I know.
to take this global cable of Satan worship
Global cable. Believe me, I am able with the global cable.
worshiping pedophiles out. And I think we have the president to do.
And I don't want to be a dick here. Far be it from me to tell you how to follow a cult, start your own, and branch off and turn it into a political movement. But it's pronounced cabal, as in, these are my cabals, like that.
Do it. And so I'm very excited about that.
Yeah, well, who wouldn't be? That sounds fun. La-da-da-da.
Hillary decides to launch her political career. It's time for her to enter because, you know, she's being lined up. She's the next one in place.
Yes, all of my deepest worshipers live in a spiritual Pez dispenser. And then I go, and then I vomit them out into the body politic.
The deep state. They choose
I'll show you some deep state. Am I right? I'm sorry. That was wrong of me, and I apologize.
who their candidates are. They choose who they want to put in place. So she becomes senator in New York City. And yes, I could dive into Kennedy getting killed in the plane crash, because isn't it interesting that he had announced he was going to run for Senate just before he died in a mysterious plane crash?
Well, if he indeed did, I happen to believe he is running around in a rubber suit pretending to be Donald Trump, because what could be more fun than never having to complete a sentence ever again?
But anyway, so that's another one of those Clinton murders, right?
Yeah, just one of them. I mean, at this point, I honestly have lost track. And I'm the guy who invented death. Well, I didn't invent him. That's rude. I hired him. Gave him his start. He was an intern.
But these are interesting things to look at. And
Agree to disagree.
so I wanted to talk to you about them. I'm not presenting them that they're fact.
No, of course not, because that would take emotional, psychological, intellectual, and psychosexual fortitude, of which you have none. Granted, we get it.
But I am
Apparently, there's a dog on your leg.
presenting them that I'm hoping they're facts.
Well, who doesn't? I mean, who doesn't hope? I mean, who doesn't lay awake at night hoping there's a Clinton body count? You know what I mean? I mean, I count dead Clinton victims like some people count sheep. A lot of times I forget who I was supposed to keep track of. Yeah, a lot of times just Vince Foster over and over and over again, because I can't remember the names of the other people. And it's weird because Marge is laying in bed right next to me. I could roll over and ask her, but I hate barfing on my own sheets. It's a natural reaction. Hi, I'm back. Sorry, I don't know what to tell you. She calls forth Satan and he shows up. What do you expect?
You
No,
have
this
called
is something-
Q a patriot. I've seen
Really?
the video
You've
of
seen
you.
me in Congress doing that?
Not in
Yeah, you've seen me in Congress doing that. I only do that as a whisper campaign.
See me on the campaign trail?
No, just in a
okay,
video.
We've covered this a long time ago.
So
Would
you
like?
still denounce QAnon and all
I'm
of
waiting
those?
for you to ask me a real question. Are you guys wanting him to ask a real question?
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
Yes. This is
Integrity.
This is not.
Integrity, says the lady. This is ask her a question about integrity. Don't ask her if she still stands by what she said and why she's using weasel language now. Ask her something that shows you have integrity. We don't give a fuck if she has integrity.
No, bring yourself to a professional level, okay? You got these are my supporters right here, and they're telling you right now they've never heard me talk about it. So why don't you ask?
Yeah, so they're lying too. So they lack integrity the same way you do.
A real question.
Okay. Remember what you said about pedophiles and all that kind of stuff? Why are you touring with Matt Gaetz? That's current. You just denounced that, and you just went on tour with that fucker.
ADL. I'm sure you're familiar with the ADL, the Anti-Defamation League. They have come out with a study last week that said that anti-Semitic incidents are up 133%.
That's terrible,
in the state
isn't
of
it?
Georgia.
Yes, that's awful.
In the state of Georgia.
It is awful. I just wonder, though, when you talk about Nazis in Ukraine, when you talk about Jewish financial institutions funding lasers that are used on to
I've
start
never said
cars,
that.
fires.
You're lying right now. You're lying. Nope, you're lying. Stop right now.
No, I did not say they were funding them. I said it's Jewish scientists and the Nazis are funding the whole thing. And
No, until you can pull up my exact words. No.
all right, let's see. Do 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 do. Taylor. Whoops, Green. Jewish laser quote. Let's look at the Marjorie accuses. Okay, hold on. Here we go. This is the. Whoops! Get out of here. I'm not paying for this answer. I kind of blame Walmart on. Okay, here we go. This is New York Magazine. This will say. Oh, I'm not. Hold on. Green's views are a bit more controversial. Okay, most recent Green. Okay, here we go. Green suggested in a Facebook post that wildfires. Here you go. This is from 2018. There are now over 70 people confirmed and over Jesus Christ. Congratulations, Facebook trolls. You are cut from the same cloth as Marjorie Taylor Greene. Every time I get one of these diatribes on Facebook in the chat, I'm like, yep, that's how it works. Okay. I'm praying for all involved. I'm posting this in speculation because there are too many coincidences to ignore. And just putting it out here for some research I've done stemming from my curiosity over PG&E stocks, which tanked all last week, then rallied Thursday night after California officials announced they would not let PG&E fail. I find it very interesting that Roger Kimmel on the board of electors of PG&E is also vice chairman of Rothschild Incorporated, international investment banking firm. I also find it interesting the long history of financial contributions that PG&E has made to Jerry Brown over the years and millions in lobbying. What a coincidence it must be that Governor Brown signed a bill in September 2018 protecting PG&E and allowing PG&E to pass off its cost of fire responsibility to its customers in rate hikes and through bonds. It also must just be a coincidence that the fires are burning in the same place projected areas that the $77 billion high-speed rail project is to be built, which also happens to be Governor Brown's pet project. And what are the odds that Feinstein's husband, Richard Bloom, is the contractor to the rail project? Geez, with that much money, we could build 3 U.S. southern border walls. Then, oddly, there are all these people who have said they saw what looked like lasers or blue beams of light causing the fires, and pictures and videos. I don't know anything about that, but I do find it really curious. PG&E's partnership with Solarin on space solar generators starting in 2009. They announced the launch into space in 2018 in March, and maybe even put them up before that. Space solar generators collect the sun's energy and then beam it back to Earth to a transmitter to convert to electricity. The idea is clean energy to replace coal and oil. If they are beaming the sun's energy back to Earth, I'm sure they wouldn't ever miss a transmitter receiving station. They wouldn't ever miss a transmitter receiving station, right? I mean, mistakes are never made when anything new is invented. What would that look like anyway? A laser beam or a light beam coming down to Earth? I guess, could that cause a fire? I don't know. I hope not. That wouldn't look so good for PG&E, Rothschild Incorporated, Solarin, or Jerry Brown, who just does seem fond of PG&E. Good thing for Solarin that Michael Peavy is on their board, since he's a former president of California Public Utilities Commission, California's most powerful energy regulatory agency. Great connections right there. Also, I will say, however, I was able to buy that PG&E stock at the bottom before the announcement was made. when stocks rally, sure did well over the investment. I wonder how you get privy to that kind of info. You must know somebody, right? Seems like there's a lot of connected people in this crowd with these space solar generators. I hope they really have a good aim beaming the sun's power down to Earth. But what do I know? I just like to read a lot. Solar Incorporation to launch solar panels into orbit. And of course, the reason people are like Jewish space lasers and what they're referencing is her bringing up both Feinstein's husband and the Rothschilds being behind this. What did I say? I said it's just funny that the Rothschilds are behind this solar company and they want to invest in this train and that they've got stock in PG&E and then they fire, even if it's not true, it doesn't matter because whether they do or not, I get to say it. And then the wildfires happen in a curious area.
So I am not contributing. I have one of the most, I have one of the most pro-Israel voting records in Congress.
Yes, I'm one of them evangelicals that believes we got to get all the Jews back to Israel where they belong so that when Jesus appears on Armageddon, he can roll down in there and cut all their heads off, and then we can usher in the rapture.
I have never in my life been anti-Semitic. And number 3, you're lying about me right now. You don't even know what my real words are. You're going off of some fake news article.
I read
yes,
your
you
Facebook
did.
post.
Okay, read it.
Your
What does it
post.
say? What does it say?
Yeah.
Okay, exactly. Then stop. Ask another real question.
I'll pull it up in a moment. But I know
we're out in the middle of a field, so her followers can't go, wait, you said that?
I think
Look
you
at the
feel
video.
like too much attention is being paid to the January 6th attack at the Capitol. But you yourself seem to have been pretty alarmed by it. Telling Mark
shocked.
Meadows in a text.
Yes, I was shocked that it didn't work.
Please tell the president to calm people. This isn't the way to solve anything. So you knew how bad it was, and you thought that the president might be able to help.
I do not know if those are my text messages.
Oh, that's where's the integrity lady? Why isn't she clapping? I do not know. She doesn't even know if she said that. What's she supposed to know what she said?
That has not been confirmed.
Why don't you confirm it? Can you confirm it? Do you have your phone on you? Here's a good idea. Somebody near you has your fucking phone. Scroll back on it.
That's been well over, I don't know, what are we at, 16 months now?
Uh-huh.
I don't even have my text messages from then, so it
Why not? Somebody does.
has not been confirmed, so I do not know if those are my text messages.
You have.
But yes, I was upset that day. I'd worked very hard to object, which is legal and lawful, and the Democrats did the same thing in the past 3 Republican presidential elections.
Yeah, but they didn't coordinate with senators and stop it. And most of them were complaints about like the number of voting machines in certain areas and that voters were denied their right to vote. And they felt very strongly about that. But none of them actually shut down the process, and nobody charged the fucking Capitol.
Democrats objected. That's the only thing I was interested in doing. You want to know something? I don't like violence. I don't like riots.
You don't like violence? The fuck are you talking about? She shot a fucking car with a 50 cal and blew it up in an ad.
I didn't like any of the Antifa BLM riots that burned and caused all this destruction.
Yeah. I mean, Target, our government, what's the difference?
$2 billion in damage in American cities, and I didn't like the riot at the Capitol on January 6th.
Yeah, but for different reasons. You didn't like the BLM riots because you saw them as successful in drawing attention to the death of George Floyd, for example, and you resented that. You didn't like the riots at the Capitol because you fucked up and it didn't work.
But you want to know something that I think is really sad and pathetic?
Yes. Matt Gaetz in a Speedo.
The same people in Congress that cheered on those riots, that said they
I don't know that anybody cheered on the riots.
would keep going and keep going with them.
They would keep going and keep going with them. I would, right now, you're lying on me, and I would like you to call up the words that you've seen.
Funded them on the Act Blue platform, the Democrat fund.
Yeah, they were getting people who were not violent out of jail, who were being scooped up in some of these states.
Raising platform and helped fund criminal rioters out of jail, are sitting there on a committee claiming that one riot that
Look at these people. Right. One riot. Yeah, one riot that attacked our Capitol is somehow more special than civil unrest that we've had in our nation's history, especially over racial issues at different times that burned down Target stores.
Happened in Washington at the Capitol is the most important thing anyone should talk about when they've never apologized to the American people. And
they're not going to. I, for one, I'm sorry. I am not going to apologize for the American people. I'm not going to apologize that they exist. You might, but I happen to like my American fellow citizens, and I am not going to apologize for their existence, and I resent the idea that you would ask me to.
that makes all of us and people everywhere absolutely sick.
Right.
So
Well, I'm glad you're out in a field then. I would suggest some of you would wear a mask, except the dude with the beard, because, you know, then his mask will smell like soup.
I am not going to carry on. You know how many people have been arrested for January 6th? I think we're well over 800 people.
Right, and there were thousands of people there. That's dick. I think the number should go up, actually.
They have been arrested, they have been charged, and some of them are rotting in jail.
Well, I think that's more about diet and regular exercise. They give it. I mean, they're rotting in jail? Are they? So they've been dead for a long time
While they're awaiting pretrial.
So anybody who's in jail is rotting. So I mean, I guess we're all in a state of rot. You know what I mean? The day you're born, you start dying.
Just turn the page.
That's not what I'm saying. People have been arrested. They have been charged. They deserve their day in court.
They'll get it.
They deserve their due process rights.
They have it.
And you want to know something? I would like to see the Democrats come out and create a committee and say, we're going to investigate BLM and Antifa.
Well, they don't have to. The FBI's already doing that.
I would love to see that. If they wanted to actually say riots are bad altogether, why don't we declare...
Yes, altogether. I mean, all riots are created equal. I mean, a group of citizens... I mean, what's the difference between like a riot around something like George Floyd and a sports riot? You know what I mean? They're basically... Shit still gets destroyed. Who cares if the purpose is different? I mean, we're into... This is probably something she learned from Matt Gaetz. What's the difference between consensual and non-consensual sex? It's still sex, right? Right, Matt?
All of them are bad. Instead of focusing on one riot
that tried to stop the peaceful transfer of power in our fucking country.
That they are politically using. You know what? Democrats think riots are political tools for elections. And
Well, technically speaking, Republicans actually rioted to change the election. The people that are talking about the riot that you used to try and change the election aren't politicizing it. They are recognizing the politicization of the physical good fucking God.
They absolutely are not, because the riots of 2020 affected the American people, affected their communities, their cities.
Yeah, but it motivated them to vote either more for the ideas they believed or changed their mind, but that was still up to them. It didn't try to deny them the right to. The BLM and Antifa riots that did occur, if you're even going to call them that, none of them happened at voting places. None of them interfered with the right to vote. They didn't burn down fucking post offices so they couldn't get ballots to people. If anything, the riots themselves entrenched some of her voters, steeled their resolve in how they were going to vote.
Their towns, their businesses, and you know what? No one's ever paid with all that BLM donations for those businesses to be restored or all that damage to be fixed.
Well, it's because these weren't organized things by that group. But if you want to try and set up a situation where you are the arbiter, that if someone does something, you can align them with an organization you don't like because they seem to have overlapping political beliefs, and they are now responsible. So, like, let me give you an example. Your church reads from the same Bible as David Koresh. And David Koresh was guilty of allegedly of pedophilia and managed a cult that was storing arms and open fire on the FBI. So cogito ergo sum, your church and is responsible for rebuilding parts of Waco and paying back the FBI for damages to vehicles because of gunfire. Why won't you do that?
Or the people that died, their families to be made whole. So
You can't make someone whole after they're dead.
if we're going to talk about riots, let's be real and talk about all riots. Okay?
Yeah, all riots are created equal, okay? Just let's get this right. You know what I mean? I'm a laugh riot, and it's basically the same as January 6th.
Okay.
Okay. You have a beautiful family. I saw a picture of them on your website. I also
Where'd you find them?
know from your campaign that you have been the subject of threats, that there have been disgusting and vile voice messages that I've listened to that have been left for you. That must be terrible, and I just wonder if you think that maybe we could tone down the rhetoric on both sides. Everybody can.
Okay.
Is it time?
Look at that. He tries to both sides her. This is a bank shot, and she's like, okay, look. I don't have to stop calling for the murder of my political opponents just so people won't do that to me.
Okay, let's be real honest. You just brought up lies about me and conspiracy theories.
No, not at all. I brought it up on the show to back up what that dude's saying. He's not responsible for her pretending it doesn't exist because he doesn't want to bring it up on his phone during a mic interview, and she knows exactly what the fuck he's talking about.
Theories about me. And you're the one that broadcasts those crazy things to all kinds of people.
Well, no, it brings up he would broadcast your response to them, your denial, alongside the video of you actually doing that and going, yeah, she lied. So if you're going to vote for her, you're voting for a liar. This is Tom Costello for CBS Channel 9 News.
And it's when people that don't know me as a person.
Which is everyone.
They read the stuff that you say about me, that causes death threats and all kinds of possible.
Oh, it's his fault. I see. For asking you about shit you've said. That's dangerous. One of the worst things you can do to me is tell people what I've said and then ask me if I've said it, so I have to deny saying it, and then you show that I actually did say it, and now people go, not only is she vile and dangerous and stuff like that, but she's a liar too. Then what do I do?
Violence against me. So why don't you help in that process and not spread lies about me? That would help these death threats go away.
Oh, so maybe the death threats are a lie. Maybe you tape those yourself. Maybe, can we do a voice check against some of these folks and make sure that those recorded messages aren't contrived to make you look like a victim? Because at this point, I was, up until this point, I was convinced that maybe, just maybe, some of that shit was real. And now I'm not so sure.
Well, understood. I'm going to find the Facebook post where you talked about Jewish financial, the Rothschild.
Right.
Rothschild.
Who I did not even know was Jewish. How about that?
So what does that say? How come you don't know these things?
Did you know Dianne Feinstein's husband was Jewish? Was the name a giveaway? I didn't even know the Rothschilds were Jews. I've never read into any of that stuff in all of my study of QAnon. Bullshit, lady.
Where do you get that information from when you talk about Rothschild?
Look,
where does that come from?
I don't even know. But what I go to definitelynotajew.com, and that's where I think I first heard about it there. And I was watching one of Roseanne's videos, who I did not know was a Jew either. And she was talking about another George Soros, who's not at all a super Jew. And
all I knew was they were a board member. I had no idea that they were even Jewish. Can you imagine that?
Yes, I can imagine you don't know a lot of things, but I don't believe you. I can imagine anything.
Well,
obviously you cannot. You clearly have your own conspiracy theories.
No,
you do. You have your own. No, you are creating conspiracy theories about me. That is what you are doing with your, CBS 46. Yes, that's right. You're using your job to push your political views.
Well, technically, he's just asking you about shit you've said.
Push lies about me into the public instead of asking me.
Well, no, I mean, now he found out some good information. He asked some questions, right? He asked some questions, and he got a solid answer. Here's what we know about Marjorie Taylor Greene, that she's been studying QAnon and connections by the Rothschilds because she likes to read, according to her post. And from that, in all those readings, she never found out that they were Jewish. It just never came up.
Simple questions. You
And if it did, she just forgot.
phrase it and push these questions. And so, you know what? That's the problem we have in America, is when Democrat activists use their job and their media platform to twist lies about people like me.
Yeah, don't twist the lies. Just let the lies stand. Hers are fine.
And you know what? It happens on the other side too.
The other side. You mean the rhinos?
But I'm just saying,
By the way, when she says the other side, she means the rhinos. You know what I mean? It's like it's the deep state versus the rhinos.
it's wrong. If you want us to all get along better, don't do that.
But aren't you concerned then? I mean, maybe you didn't know about the Rothschild, but
No,
once you
here,
did,
wait,
once
excuse
you
me.
learned about it, weren't you like, oh my God, how did I say that? Weren't you embarrassed?
No,
for
I
having
was
said
more
that?
like, how in the world is the media so vicious that they're going to create these horrible headlines that get repeated by people like you?
Well, how do you, when you find out that the Rothschilds has been a Jewish conspiracy storyline, a punchline for anti-Semites forever, that's what he's asking you. How do you find that out? Does somebody go, by the way, Rothschilds is like a code word for anti-Jewish globalist conspiracy theories that paint like Jewish people as like puppet masters all over the world and responsible for like all the wars and shit like that. The stuff that Mel Gibson says when he's drunk off his ass and driving a car.
And I'm shocked that they keep spreading these lies about me. What do you guys think? Is
What do you guys think? Attack!
that ridiculous?
Are you any all Jews? I didn't even check.
Yeah, thank you, Marjorie. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Marjorie. The Rothschilds really are Jews. He should have interviewed all these people beforehand. Please tell me he did. Please cut to the end of this where he had done pre-interviews with these folks and like, the Rothschild Jew lasers, they're going to get us all.
Would you like to talk about anything else serious? Do you have anything serious to talk about?
Yeah, what's your tax plan?
I'm just curious.
I have a lot of serious things to talk about.
Okay, well try finding one.
I mean, this is a very serious election, and you're
It
running
is.
for a serious
Yes,
office.
yes, I care about our borders. I care about the national debt. I care about taxes
Your borders with Alabama and Mississippi and Florida?
that you have to pay also. I care about inflation that affects your wallet. I care about our gas prices that also affect your wallet. I care about if you have children, I want them to be safe. I want them to have a good education.
And by safe, I mean not anywhere near trans people.
I think we probably have more in common and those type of serious things we can talk about than silly lies and conspiracy theories about me.
I asked you when we were talking with the business owner, whose name I can't think of off the top of my head, what you're able to do to try to fix some of these issues, the gas prices, the inflation.
Drill, baby, drill.
Your answer to me was that there really isn't anything that you can do right now.
Well, who is in charge of Congress? Can you tell me who's in
The idea is if you were in charge, dummy.
charge of Congress?
Democrats are in the majority.
Absolutely. Everything that's happening right now are the Democrats. You want to know
So does
why?
that mean you can't be an effective lawmaker?
I am effective. There's over 500 bills on record that you can look up right now. You can look up how I voted. You can look up how Nancy Pelosi voted.
Well, yeah, you have to vote on them. You didn't write any, though.
You can look up any
You can look up, like, who wrote them. It ain't me. There's over, like, 500 bills that I've done fuck all with.
anybody in Congress and see their vote, and it is on record because I dedicated my time and led the effort to call for those recorded votes. No one has done that, and that's not just for people here. Y'all can look up how I vote as seriously
Yeah, y'all know.
conservative, but you can also look at how other people vote, and you can see that anywhere you want. So that has been the most effective thing any Republican has done
Totally.
in Congress, and I've stopped bills by doing that. Felons cannot vote from prison because I called for recorded votes, and I think everybody's happy about that because that shouldn't be happening anyways.
Hear, hear.
Thank you, Congresswoman.
So people who are rotting in jail right now can't vote, is that what you're saying?
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
You're welcome. And a quick question.
A follow-up question is something I heard earlier about, you were talking about the riots and holding Black Lives Matter accountable and the other groups. Do you see with the insurrection, which I know you called a riot as well, do you see any differences between those, if you could categorize them as the same thing?
The riots all over the country?
So the riots, yeah, the riots all over the country.
No, I see them differently.
Okay.
Here's the difference. The riots all over the country were organized, and they were continuous, and they were day after day after day. There were leaders. There was funding. People bailed them out of jail. There was attorneys assigned. Minnesota Freedom Fund is an excellent place to look. There was a coordination of the press to call them mostly peaceful protests.
It was a coordination. It was like a war room. It was at the Willard Hotel. Rudy Giuliani, I think, was in on that.
Yes, no, that was organized. The riot at the Capitol, I have no idea. I don't think it was an insurrection.
I don't think so. I mean,
I don't know what it was.
well, it certainly wasn't a coup. It might have been an attempted one. It was a failed coup. It was a failed insurrection.
I was inside the House chamber when it happened, and I was...
Yeah, we know. Delaying things until the cavalry could arrive.
just as shocked as probably anyone watching the television or seeing
Yeah, I was just as shocked, but it didn't work. Fuck me.
it happen. So yeah, I do think they were different.
I do think they were different. Those seemed effective in change because there were like bills passed about police brutality and violence, and the insurrection just got me in a lot of fucking trouble and dragged me down.
I found your post. It's right
Okay.
here.
All right.
Anybody who wants to look at it.
Yeah. What year is that?
This is 2018, the date of November
Right.
17th, 2018.
Ancient fucking history, 2018.
You're killing.
I mean, what was I? Gosh, I must have been 9.
I care. 20. No, go ahead. Go
I mean,
ahead.
this was your post under your name.
What's the source? Her Facebook post, dummy.
Yeah.
Does that dude literally say, what's the source? Hold on. Back the fuck up. Watch
Found
this
your
dude.
post.
Okay.
Here.
All right.
Anybody who wants to look at it.
Yeah. What year is that?
This is 2018, the date of November
Right.
17th,
Boy,
2018.
you're killing it. 20. No, go ahead. Go
I mean,
ahead.
this was your post under your name,
Yeah.
and you're talking about
What's the source of that? She wrote it.
the Rothschild family, which has been at the center of anti-Semitic conspiracies
I did
since
not
the
know that.
19th century.
I have no idea. I'm telling you, I very
Well, now you know, lady.
much. What is this? 20 what?
2018.
Yeah, I mean, that was, she was fresh out of college. You say a lot of crazy things. You know, you get a gin fizz in you, you got a little sunburn.
Okay.
You just start typing with your thumbs, and I don't know, we were playing like spin the blame somebody, and it's only got blacks, Jews, and Muslims on the spin wheel. What do you expect? It's gonna land on there eventually.
Regular American, never been in politics.
So fucking what? What do you mean regular American? What you're first of all, what kind of shitty feeling do you have about Americans that somehow everybody who hasn't been in politics is guilty of accidental anti-Semitism? I didn't know. I was just saying, you know, some Jew. I don't know.
Could not even have told you most people back in politics or families' names don't know their
But
background.
now that you do know, now that you're a member of Congress, and now that you've been told this,
People don't care.
People don't care about Jews around here, okay? There aren't any. Right, Gary? Huh?
well, anti-Semitism is on the rise in an
I'm
alarming
fully
rate.
against anti-Semitism.
So-
You're mixing two things together.
One of the greatest cures for anti-Semitism is for, think of it like a back to Israel kind of a policy.
You're accusing me of something I did not do, and then you're trying to blame me for anti-Semitism.
I am not
on the right.
blaming you. I'm
No,
saying-
you are such a liar. You need to stop. Like,
I'm
this
saying
is
that
amazing.
inadvertently, couldn't you be contributing?
No, I'm not at all. 100%. I am. Listen, I'm a Christian. I support Israel.
Support Israel as what? A staging ground for the rapture?
I have one of the most pro-Israel voters in Congress.
So what?
So why don't you judge me by?
I mean, Benjamin Netanyahu said that Barack Obama was one of the best friends Israel ever had. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that doesn't automatically, in your mind, give Barack Obama a pass for fucking anything. So why the hell would you just voting lockstep with the pro-Israel lobby on the right wing for your own purposes be like a get out of jail free card with this bullshit?
Those things, instead of twisting and turning what you think I was writing in some.
Well, what were you writing? What did you mean? Why did you bring up the Rothschilds? Why, if you didn't know the root of them, why would you go, the Rothschilds, wink, wink? Who gives a fuck? Why? That's a solid question to follow up with, is that if you didn't bring them up, like, who are they to you that you brought them up? You brought it up in the context in that post. Like, I read it for you guys. She brought it up in the context of that post as if it was a gotcha. Why is it a gotcha to you? If it isn't because they're part of a Jewish cabal of, baby spine juice eaters who are half lizard and probably from space, then why? Why'd you even mention them? What's the big deal with, why would anybody look at any of these names the same way you do with, like, Dianne Feinstein's husband, right?
2018 Facebook post, which is not at all what you're saying right now. That's not at all it.
Congresswoman, how troubling is it that we're talking about QAnon in 2018 while Americans are struggling with inflation, interest rates are going up?
Thanks for redirecting it, Gary.
Yeah.
The cost of mortgage a house is going up. Hunter Biden.
No, it isn't.
Laptop, they won't cover. They'll cover.
It doesn't exist.
For your QAnon, but they won't cover,
Yeah, thank you so much. It's so
Hunter
good.
Biden.
Woo! I have the laptop. It's right here. Where? Oh, shit. I had it. It was right here. It was right here. It's around here somewhere.
For your QAnon, but they won't cover the Russian hoax with, Michael Sussman. How concerning that the real message doesn't get out when you get in groups like this?
Well, I say it over and over, Brian. Freedom of press is such a.
Oh, she knows that guy by fucking name. She was like, I don't know, where you from? CBS 40-something, Miss Alive 11. And meanwhile, this dude's like, you know what, Brian? As I've told you many times.
Russian hoax with, Michael Sussman. How concerning that the real message doesn't get out when you get in groups like this?
Well, I say it over and over, Brian. Freedom of press is such a wonderful thing. And
it's wonderful.
It's a true blessing, and I
blessing.
always want to protect it. But
Always.
Freedom of press is not the freedom to lie about people. And this is what's happening right here. This is a lie. It is troubling.
Well, what you're saying is a lie, sure.
To me, because it seems like, unfortunately, you're not connected with what people are saying is important to them. You're bringing up things and twisting and turning it, and I think that's very troubling, because these are powerful platforms that are able to get a message out. But here's what's really sad, Brian.
I'll tell you what's hang the fuck out. I'll tell you what's really sad. She's in this really nice field just off of I thought they near a parking lot. They all hanging out and they all wearing their best country red to set off. It's like fucking Christmas. Look at all the red and the green and the big dirty beard. Man, that's like the Santa from the holla that we have every time. Listen here, I don't like how she's being treated, quite frankly. I'm enamored of this lady, largely because I've always been attracted to women who could bench press me.
Discredit themselves. And it causes regular people to say, I don't trust the news anymore.
Yeah, I say that all the time. I don't trust the news anymore, even when somebody else reads it to me.
I can't believe in the news because they're not stupid. See?
Yeah, I can't believe in the news because they're not stupid. If they were stupid, I'd be like, I get you.
The thing is, people aren't stupid.
Well, some people are. Podunk Dave, He's he gets, see, he's the thing. We ain't stupid, but we like to get stupid. You know what I mean? Woohoo! NASCAR, show me your butthole.
They are able to
Show me your butthole.
see the truth and look past the lies in the headlines.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying. It's like she's doing her own show. Look past the lies and the headlines and show me your butthole.
And figure out things for themselves. So yeah, it is a big concern of mine, and I'm just so glad people are much smarter.
I feel seen.
All right.
Well, all right. Woo! That was exciting. I learned a lot. I started this off thinking that I was the only person that knew that the Rothschilds were part of a big...
Welcome, one and all.
Oh, hello.
Here,
What is this?
there, high and away.
What in the world?
Welcome,
What's that?
ladies and gentlemen,
No.
my dear friends,
What is this
my
noise?
countrymen.
Stop it. What's happening?
Welcome to the Late Show. I'm your host,
What is
Stephen
playing?
Colbert.
Who is this?
Hi.
Where is this audio coming from?
That's it. Yeah.
Get out of here,
That's all
man.
you
Shut
guys
up. That ain't right. What the heck? Sorry. I had to change the channel. I don't know where that went. That was weird. That was just like an autoplay video that I left open in a window that I was still doing. Sorry. It wouldn't be the show without a little bit of, hold on. Behind the scenes, audio issues. By the way, you're watching Hal Sparks Mega Worldwide.